Hey guys, Jason here with BounceWave Inflatable Sales. Let's talk shop for just a few minutes. Things that aren't always fun, that we have to purchase, that makes our lives easier. And when we make these big purchases, when we purchase the water slides and we go out and rent them and they make us money, of course we find value in that. It's human nature. But buying things that get us to the dance, that isn't fun. Sometimes it's tough to gulp, whether it be a trailer and get it done right, or dolly, one that's built right. And spending the money on that sometimes is painful because we don't see the reward, but your body does, right? So your body sees the reward, so getting the best ones out there is ideally what you want to do. This is Diamondback Dollies. This company, I'll let you meet our guys here soon. The company that builds these particular dollies are official welders, and we are part of a welding company. We do work for Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, sanitary welding. We can do anything, right? So Florida Foods, there's a number of people that naturally we do work for, and we go out and we get all their piping right and design and do all that kind of stuff for them. These guys that build these dollies do that as well. So it's not guys in the backyard just trying to tack some things together. When you look at these dollies, feel them, smell them, touch them, you see why rather quickly. So this is the four-wheel Diamondback Dolly here. We're running a two-wheel version. You can get a four-wheel with a winch. This is a hybrid on the dolly here. That's why I put the inflatable on it so you can see what we're up against. You can see the stoutness of the dolly. And this hybrid is wet, so at 550 normally is what it weighs. You add 50 pounds for that water. As you can see, I just pulled it out of my rental inventory. We do what you do. And you'll see this thing isn't bowing at all. The tires isn't giving way. There's no nonsense going on with it. This is the dolly as it stands upright, you know, in its stature, right? So you know, Jason, why would you say this dolly's a little better? Or what are you offering, or what are you trying to get across? What's the point here? Well, with dollies, right, we all have to struggle to pull units back, right? That's a big deal. To get the heavier stuff back, right? It's just taxing, and it's heavy. And also, how it kind of wheels around, its mobility and things of that nature matters. So, benefit of big tires and the downside of big tires. So, and it's small things that matter. So we have large tires here. We have a 33-inch base, which is going to fit in, or sorry, 35 and some change base, which will fit in a 36-inch gate. These larger tires, when you're pushing it in grass, floor tam, St. Augustine sod, whatever, uphill, downhill, sideways, is going to be a lot more forgiving. Not only that, they have a little bit more buoyancy. So they're going to kind of move with the terrain a little bit and be a little more forgiving. Downside to larger tires, well, makes the dolly a little bit heavier, of course. Also, and a lot of times tougher to pull back. So the taller it is that we got to roll over pulling a unit back, the more mass we got to roll over to get it from this point to this point, rolling over that mass, makes it a little heavier when you have taller tires, a little harder when you have taller tires. Not on this particular dolly, I'll tell you why in just a moment. But let's get to the build. All stainless steel. Everything in here is going to be stainless steel. And this is 3-inch channel, guys. This is 3-inch channel. All competitors use 2-inch. Why is that important? Does it make the dolly a tick heavier? Yeah. Do you want a heavy-duty dolly? Right? In the business, we always go, we want heavy-duty dolly. Well, let's get a heavy-duty dolly, right? So what makes the difference there is we don't skirt weld. What is skirt welding? Skirt welding is when you see this flange. It's when they'll take and they'll just weld a little section of it and leave a gap and a little section of it. And then water can intrude, rust, it peels back your powder coating and just starts to look really nasty. But you'll see on this dolly, nothing for water to get in and skirt welded. Everything is fully welded everywhere you'll see. There's nothing skirt welded. Everything is wrapped completely around and fully welded. Now let's get to the plate. A lot of times this takes a beating, right? This is your base plate, you pull units back. This is taking the load, you're letting units down, this is slamming against the ground, right? And if you have drivers, they don't ride the units down. It's kind of, they get there and they go, boom, in the trailer, and it creates all this, you know, it's hard on the floor of your trailer, it's hard on the dollies that they're doing that with. So the base plate will matter. When you're welding the base plate, and we've fixed many other competitors, my welders from customers who buy from us will re-weld their base plates. Why 3-inch matters, because I'm giving this base plate on a 2-inch, I'm only giving it weld bite to here, right? On a 3-inch, I'm giving it much more support. See the support it's getting from that 3-inch channel instead of 2-inch? So you're getting a whole nother inch on each side of complete welding all the way around, not skirt welding. So that's a big deal. Again, all stainless steel. And you know, you want to talk about leverage a dolly. You ever get in a yard? So we get in the yard, right? It's a little uneven or whatever. We got the dolly there. We're one man show. We're trying to pick the unit up. We're trying to get the dolly to pick the unit, get the dolly right, because the dolly, if I let it go, if it's not completely perfectly level or whatever, the dolly tips over. And you're sweating and you're just pissed. I mean, I get it. So leverage matters. This dolly balances itself actually with the 4 wheels out particularly easy, right? There's just not much to it. I can move it anywhere I want. I can take it out there in that grass and do the same thing, and it's gonna sit pretty level. Wheels tucked in, it does the same thing. So it gives me that balance, right? And then there's this angle right here, right? Which matters. You see this isn't completely flush and flat, right? So if our center cradle here was straight up, this would be more of a flat look. That will hurt how the dolly is set up, and it makes it tougher to get units back, because Timmy will show you in a minute, when I got this unit standing straight up, it's gonna leave me a gap here now. That's the resistance of pull. I can snap that back and get this unit right back on its way. Braking system, so to move our 4-wheel to a 2-wheel is pretty basic. It's a Carter pin that goes in right here. You press the button in, and you get this Carter pin out here. If I can get it, this hand's kind of jacked up on me. Hang on, let me do it this way. This is my better hand. Get that out, lift it up, and it just bolts right here, snaps right here. And that's done, and the Carter pin just hangs there. When you want to put it back down, you do the same thing. Throw the Carter pin in, ease it down, pin it up, and there you go. All stainless steel all the way around it. Zerk fittings here, so you can grease. And this will be as stable as it gets. Now, let's move down the dolly a little bit, and this is the part I like the most. The leverage of this brake system. A lot of companies, their brake systems don't really hit on the tires the right way. We try and make that happen to where it's as perfect as we can get it. But most cases, this bar right here will be where your brake system is. So you have to kind of get in here, and I'm too upright to get a mass amount of leverage. When I'm able to put my foot on a downward, see this is on a downward slope here from this bar, from the bracket. When I'm able to get my foot down and see how I'm on a downward angle, that gives me, and I can position my body in the upper half. Austin, if you're getting me in a minute, I can then, when I pull back, it makes it so much easier. And I can also fully stand on this and just snap it back, and it goes that way as well. Also, when I'm moving into the trailer or into the warehouse, whatever it may be, and I've got the unit and I go to flip it up, when I get it here, I can ride it right there and just ride it on down. It keeps it from slamming, things like that. So again, that's this setup, and we are the only company, I'll have Timmy show you in a minute, that has a brake system to where if you wanted to lock the brakes up, this pin just goes in that hole, it locks these brakes up, that way this won't move. So if you're in a trailer that's not positioned on the truck right, and you're trying to, the trailer's on a downward angle, and you're trying to get the dolly, you're by yourself, and you're trying to get the piece, but it's wanting to drag back, you can actually hook the brake up on that and leave it there. So this is it when it's on, and there's also a ratchet strap to wrap the unit up. So when a piece is on it, you know, why do we roll a little different than a lot of companies. I like my storage in my trailer to be minimal. And I like leverage when I'm dollying. So if you roll a piece that's this tall and really fat, on this dolly or any dolly, it gets extremely front heavy and gets out of control. So it's fat and it's short, and all your load is laying back here, not much at all up here, right? So when you go to hit a trailer gate with some speed, things like that, everything wants to lunge forward on you. We roll triangles nose to forehead high. It makes it less fat, so it takes up less room. Downside to rolling tall, it's a little harder to get it on its end. Upside is everything else. So, and it leverages itself out on the dolly. So I can actually push this unit without even holding the handles. I can, and that's why we make it as long, the dolly as tall as we do. So that way you can get under. And if I gotta push up a trailer, you can see this leverage here, right? I need leverage to get it up, and it needs to be balanced going up. So it works really, really well for that. So Timmy, if you wanna come in, and let's stand this unit up and let's show them kind of how that looks when it's stood up. So you can actually just take it and ride it down because that brake is so far back, okay? So now, Timmy, we're coming in to grab the unit, right? So whatever that looks like here, I'll pull it here and take the dolly out and bring it back in. So you're coming in to get a unit, and you kind of get leveled up on it, right? Some of you guys, I've done it, you know, when I had the Tractor Supplies and all the other dollies, I'd put wheel chucks behind it, whatever, because I gotta get that bad boy back. You see this gap right here? See how this dolly's angled back? That gives me leverage to pull back on. If the dolly was matted right up against it, I'd have to pull all at one. But here I get slack. You see this distance right here? That distance matters, because see, I can rock this unit once or twice and then boom, pop it back, right? But with this dolly, you don't, I'll show you 2 ways you can do it. Timmy, if you want to stand on a brake and do kind of the 1-2 rock and get it. And you can go from underneath if it's not too tall underneath. There's one method of getting it back, okay? Now just stand it up and pull it, keep it to you, right? Now pull it to you and then just yank back. There's the second method. You can do it. Easier to do it the first way, right? So as far as its base width, why we make them a little wider, if you come behind Austin, you can see this a little better. Its base width. One of the reasons for that too, and another reason why I don't like to roll really short and fat, because when you're on unlevel yards, right? So when you're on a side, especially as you're a lot line, things like that, the side of the house is unlevel and you're wheeling between homes. If the dolly gets sideways on you, the inflatable ends up rolling off. Or even with the strap, if it's too short and it's front loaded and it gets over here, it's still gonna move the whole dolly with the unit. It's just what it's gonna do. The wider your base width is, the more stability you have. So it kind of stops that from happening. So essentially, if I cut 6 inches off here, you know, off each side, I narrow everything up, everything gets more tipsy-turvy and creates a little more issue there. So this is, you know, in my mind, we've got great reviews on it. Again, nothing is done cheaply on it. Again, all stainless steel, so it's not gonna rust. Every bolt on it, stainless steel. Every setup on it, stainless steel. And you can look at the welds from top to bottom. Also, you can show back here where the brake, that a lot of times these side brakes that people put on brake, but look at where this is, look how everything is put together. Nothing is done in a cheap fashion on the dolly. Everything is done up to the highest end possible. The powder coating is bar none. The wheels, the tires, everything is there you know, it's years. This is gonna last you, you might, forever, really. I mean, it's never, you'd have to really do something crazy to hurt this dolly, really. I'm not saying go out there and throw this dolly out of your truck and do crazy stuff, but I'm just saying that it's really, in my opinion, and some of you may disagree, and that's all right, it's really built that well. So this one I believe is $17.50, and a 4-wheel would do it in a winch. We also offer it in a 2-wheel that don't have the back at an entry level. And I will say, and we're asked all the time about electric. We're in the final phase of the electric dolly. We've been proofing them for 6 months. We got an amazing axle that's very high end. The build is gonna be the same. We will not be able to collapse the back wheels on ours. It's gonna be a set on our 4-wheel electric. It'll be a set back wheel. But the quality of welds, the quality of the build and the structure is gonna be all the same. It's gonna be the same quality moved over to electric and high-end axle. Again, we're beating it out in the field to make sure it's what I want it to be, and we've made some adjustments and we're changing a few things there, so we're very close to that as well. So, but you don't want everything electric. Guys, know when you buy electric and you beat them around in trucks, it's electric, so there's connections everywhere, and there's rain, there's weather. I have them. You know, they're not gonna last forever. You're gonna have to replace some things on electric as time goes, batteries and such. You always want some good backup manuals in your inventory. Why? Because if you have an electric go down, you're in a spot. You gotta have a couple good manuals. And look, before electric came out 22 years ago, I mean, you know, I would have prayed to have one of these dollies, but it was just, I was baselining dollies off whoever, whenever, and trying to just get through it, because there was nothing like this in the industry. So from a manual standpoint, this has changed the game. Super impressive, and does everything you'd want it to do in a dolly, from getting up the trailer to getting through yards. Does it go by its own? No, you still have to push it. Common sense tells us that. But again, with the right wheels and everything, as easy as the mobility can be, helps. And I think you guys will find a lot of satisfaction in these dollies. So we can build one for you with a winch. The electric's coming. We will be unveiling that in the very near future. We will have orders for those at IAPA as well, and so forth and so on. So I don't want to go over my skis with that, but I'm really proud of the dollies. The guys who make them are the real deal. They're not backyard guys, and it's a super impressive setup. So I think it's something that you guys should take advantage of and get these in your hands. It's gonna last you forever. Plates ain't gonna break off. You're not gonna have all that nonsense that happens. When you need to go, you need to go. Especially in water season, they're wet, they're heavy, it's a lot. So if you need one of these, we distribute it for them. They actually build it in the next shop over from mine, and they're all done here. So it's just let us know. 888-901-WAVE. Chris and Blake can help you get these. We do have some in stock currently. If you want to take advantage of them and take a little pressure off your back, let us know. 888-901-WAVE.